What's the thought process going into these final few weeks of the season? Is it game by game? Is it an overall evaluation as the season starts to wind down?
It's just one game at a time right now. We're still trying to get to a winning record. We'd really love to end 7-4. Can we do that? I truly think we can, but it's about us getting better each week from here on out, and just doing the little things right, whether it's film study or individual drills or going hard in practice every single day in the weight room. Just those things to make us better on a daily basis. And I think if we can do those things, we got a great chance to win out. But if we take corners and not to do things we're asked, it's going to be tough on us. I mean, these next three are tough games. You got Emporia, Northeastern, and Pitt. Those aren't easy, and we just got to take one day at a time and work to get better each and every day, and win each day. And if we can do those things, I think we got a great chance to win each ball game.
How much momentum can you take from these last few games into the off season if it turns out well?
A lot, just kind of where we started and just kind of how the season went, up and down, some good times, some bad times, some wins and losses, and good things and bad things, and just winning these next three really gives us some momentum going into to spring and getting better and realizing what we got to work on as a team to get better. So we need these three. It starts this week in Emporia.
How big to win it the way you did when maybe didn't play your best, but to come back and to pull it out? I mean, how does that build any momentum and been able to tell difference?
It was a huge win for us. Monday was a typical Monday. We come in and watch film and evaluate our kids, and they watch it with us, and we tell them exactly how we feel, whether they like it or not. We're just upfront and honest with them, and I think that's how you have to be. Just to make sure that they know the things that they got to work on, and let them know the things that they did really well. And it's positive and negatives, but trying to focus on the positive things that they did and correcting the negative things that they did as well. But it was a big win for us. I mean, we were up, lost the lead, and our kids found a way to come back and win that ball game. And it was defense getting some stops, and they had an opportunity to score touchdowns, and we didn't let them. And then we had opportunities as well, and offensively that we went down that last drive and scored. So I mean, that's big. And then the last play of the game was huge as well. So that should build some momentum, and show that it was a team effort. We did it with offense, defense, and special teams, and it just wasn't one side of the ball, getting that W for us.
How frustrating is it? It seems like there's a big game this year. You get a couple of touchdown lead, and it's just like they go with cruise control or whatever, and kind of lose that edge and let the opponent back in. And how frustrating has that been?
It's very frustrating as a coach because when you sit and try to figure out exactly what it is and try to pinpoint it, it's not just one guy. I wish I could just find that one guy and then we'd replace that one guy, but it's just a multiple of things. Either one guy didn't do his job, and the next play it's another guy that didn't do his job, or somebody didn't run the right route, or somebody missed a block, or the back didn't see the hole. I mean, it's just an accumulation of things, that goes, into it. And if we'd ever get on the same page, I feel like we could be really good offensively. And defensively, it's kind of the same way. If we never get on the same page and not give up the big play and tackle a little bit better, I think we could be a great defense. I mean, because we have guys in place. But the thing is, we're still young, on both sides. There's a lot of guys that haven't had a lot of playing experience for us, but there's a lot of guys that are freshmen or sophomores that hadn't played a lot. But you're wishing at this time by now that they were playing as juniors or seniors. And, hopefully that we can see that change this week. They've improved, through this week. And, we see a great football team here on Saturday.
Looking ahead to this Saturday, they've had some ups and downs. What are you expecting and what you see on film going into this game?
Yeah, it's going to be a battle. They do some things offensively where they really spread you out. It's a very quick tempo, which, games that we played lately haven't been like that. It's been more of an offense that really runs the clock down. And you just look at the number of possessions in each half, there hasn't been a lot, for either team just because of the time the other offenses have taken, on the field, where this week it's going to be 3 plays in a matter of, 45 seconds to a minute. I mean, they're trying to move the ball pretty quick, spread you out, try to run the ball, and do all kinds of little screens. And they take some shots every once in a while deep. Got a left-handed quarterback, which is a little bit different. I don't know if that really affects the game or not, but it is something different that we have to prepare for. But really, it's just our kids getting better and understanding what they're doing, defensively, and being able to stop their offense, which I think we truly can. And then, their defense, that gives you fits. It's a 3-man front. They play a 3-3 stack. but they put guys in a lot of different areas. They got multiple cover 3 coverages. It's still cover 3, but which guy's sinking? Is it a linebacker? Is it a safety? Is it a corner? All the things that a quarterback has to read, and our receivers have to know as well. And then are they playing man coverage, and how much pressure are they truly going to bring? This week against us. 2 years or 2019, I think they brought 25 blitzes in one game. That's quite a few. Are they going to do the same this year? I mean, they've done some this year, not a lot, but how much are they going to bring this week? So those are the things that we got to prepare for and get ready. And if our kids really put the time and effort in, I think we can be successful.
You mentioned the youthfulness of this team. Has that played a bigger role than maybe you would have expected throughout this season?
Yeah, just with depth and with injuries and different things like that have happened through the course of this year. Guys leaving the program as well, but it really looks good for the future because I know those guys can get it done. Once we get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, put some weight on, in the weight room and get a little faster. I really truly think these guys can get the job done. Talented group, great kids. They work hard. It's just they need another year to develop, and this is their developing year. So I see them in the next few years being a group that really stands out and wins a lot of ball games because of their youth and getting all this experience right now. So it might not be so great right now, but I still think we could end up 7-4, and that's great going into the next couple of years with this group of guys because they are young and inexperienced, but they're getting the experience they need right now to be successful later on in the future.
With that thought, then, do you view the early losses a little differently than maybe you did at that time because of realizing how many young guys you ended up having to play this year?
No, I hate losing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's on the field. I expect our guys to step onto the field and win ball games, whether it's their first game as a freshman or if it's their 50th game as a senior. I expect our guys to get on the field and be ready to compete and get after it. And we don't make excuses. We just go out there and we play football the best that we possibly can. And we have made some mistakes, but I'll take the blame for all those mistakes. But I just want our kids to go out there and play hard. I feel like youth a part of it. I looked at myself. I played as a true freshman as well. I went through some growing pains, my freshman year as a player and as a true freshman. And I think these kids can do it. It's just mentality and wanting to get the job done. If you want to get the job done, you'll find the means necessary to get it done, whether it's more film study, whether it's, really taking more time in the weight room, whether it's really being in your playbook and in the way you practice. It just comes down to, the will to want to be great. And if they have that will, they will be great.
You mentioned Emporia's tempo. It seemed like that was a trend in college football. Everybody was going quick tempo, a lot of snaps, a lot of plays in a game. It seemed like that trend is going away, and they're kind of a rarity. Not as many teams, even though they may not huddle, don't run the tempo like that.
Yeah, they do. I think it's more of a filling out process. Get lined up as an offense and seeing what the defense is lining up in, and then make your call. Then all of a sudden the defense wants to change their call and get lined up differently. So and then you give yourself time to see what they actually got into. So it's kind of a mixture where it used to be it didn't matter. It was defensively got pretty simple and just had a few calls, and offensively it was as fast as you could possibly go. And we've never really been like that. We've always been kind of not I wouldn't say slow tempo, but not as hurry up as Emporia is. So it's going to be an adjustment for our defense, and I think just the way we practice. We got to have a lot of the O-line is pretty much the O-line, but the skill guys got to be ready to go pretty quick and get lined up and get that tempo for our offense as well. Or for our defense. If we get that done, we'll be all right. But it's really changed. When you looked at the Washburn game, I think we had 3 series on offense. In that first half. Central Missouri game, I believe it was maybe 3 or 4 at the most in that first half, and we're usually used to getting 6, 7, maybe 8, possessions, and we're not getting those possessions anymore.
Do you have to go back to maybe a more simplistic approach on defense, and then how does it affect maybe substitutions when they're ready so quickly?
I think so. I think you just simplify it a little bit, make sure your kids are in good position, make sure, if it is a pass, we're getting hands on wide receivers to disrupt the timing a little bit and, bring some pressure when you feel needed. If you can't get the pressure on the quarterback with your front 4 or, your 3-down lineman, whatever we're playing with, you got to find a way to bring some pressure, but it's got to be simple pressure where you're not confusing your guys and getting them in bad position. So it's just simplifying it, getting them ready, having some checks, to certain formations that they run off and on. But, I think our kids are smart enough and pick things up pretty quick to get that done.
When you don't have that many possessions that you're used to, do you fight the urge to try to do too much because you have fewer opportunities to score because of that?
I think as coaches, you try to be as patient as you can. But I think sometimes as players, we get so impatient that we want to make the big play that, if it doesn't happen, we kind of look down on ourselves. But, it's one of those things that you got to, you just got to stay locked in and focused and take what the team gives you. If they're only going to give us 3 possessions, well, we need to take, 10 plays to go score. We need to take 10 plays to go score instead of just worrying about, scoring them 3 or 4 plays. So, you look at our first drives in most games, it's 9, 10 play drives, and we go down and score. And, we need to continue doing that through the first half. If our guys can just stay locked in, focused, and just take what's given, we'll be fine.
Any update on some of the guys who went down Saturday and their status for this week?
Still waiting, and today's the big day where we start getting all the results back, and we usually don't get those back until the afternoon. So hopefully, we do get some of those kids back. If we don't, it's the next man up, and is injury bug biting us a little bit? Yeah, but, we always have kids that we feel can step in there and get the job done. And, I have faith in those young men that are playing for us, and I think they'll get it done.